Good evening. It is Wednesday. It was on Wednesday. They hung him on a cross. Just a few days earlier, he come riding in. They was singing hosannas on a borrowed ass colt, laying down palm fronds. Just a few days earlier. And then he committed the cardinal sin. He drove business out of the church. He overturned the money lenders' tables, the money changers, the bankers of the day. You see, the synagogue, your tithe had to be paid in the church, in the synagogue coin. You couldn't use Roman currency, just the holy currency of the synagogues. And they controlled the exchange rate. So if you was wealthy, it might cost you a talent of silver to buy that coin. If you was poor, it might cost you a penny. It was a corrupt banking system. Christ overturned their tables. And here it is the day before the Passover. Holy Week has 2 Sabbaths in it. Very few talk about that. For no sign will be given to this generation except the sign is Jonah. 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the fish. That is what Passover is. It was early on this morning. They drug him out in front of Pilate and accused him. The priest of the day aggravated the people just like the media do today. So there was lots of people screaming, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Pilate quizzed him. He washed his hands of it, and he even tried to set Christ free. But this was his destiny. It's what he was born for this one day. He'd been accused, he'd been judged, and they couldn't find no fault in him. But he destroyed their system. He overturned their tables. They beat him, they plucked out his beard, gambled away his garments, made him carry his own cross for as long as he could. Then they compelled an Ethiopian, a black man, to carry it for him. They nailed him to it through his hands and his feet. Through his hands and his feet. And they stood it up and dropped it in the hole with a thud. The agony, the pain. Even the sun didn't shine on his shame. The perfect sacrifice. It was Passover. It was not Easter. Easter is derived from the festivals of Ishtar in ancient Babylon. It has nothing to do with eggs or rabbits. This was about the sacrifice of the Son of God. And they did. The sun went dark for 3 hours that day. They come to check on him and he had already died. So they shoved their spear into his side and the blood ran out and the water ran out. cried, "It is finished. Father, forgive them, for they do know not what they do." And he was absolutely correct. The earth shook. The curtain on the temple was rent in two, and graves were opened. What a day it was. That was a Wednesday. It wasn't a Friday. It was a Wednesday. Passover is a holy day. Passover week has 2 holy days. I believe the word says what it means and means what it says. And it was 3 days and 3 nights. Friday to Sunday is not 3. And anybody that tells you different is a liar. For they marched him out, and they laid him they took him down, gave him to Joseph of Arimathea, laid his body in a borrowed grave, and wrapped him up. For 3 days he lay there, and 3 nights, till the first day of the week, Sunday. Through the power of God Almighty, he was risen from the dead. He ripped off the swaddling cloth, wadded it up, and throwed it in a corner. When the head of the household had servants, while he was still eating supper, he would fold his napkin, his napkin, his handkerchief. But when he was done, he would wad it up and throw it to the side. That was a signal to the servants to clear the table, for the master was done. He didn't have any use. He didn't have any use for that napkin again. And that's why the cloth was wadded up and thrown off, for he would never be sacrificed again. He conquered death. He conquered the tomb. He was a perfect sacrifice. And this is what Passover was about. Putting blood on the windowsill, on the door sills. And for 1,000 years, the sacrifice of the Jewish people was looking for the coming of the Messiah. Most of them had no idea that what they were seeing was a real life version of what they did at Hingham every year. Every year, they would put the blood on the holy seat, the priest would, for the redemption of sins of the people that year. The blood of a lamb. And Christ was that perfect lamb. So when you're looking around and you're going to church this Sunday and they start talking about Friday, show me proof it was a Friday, because I'll tell you right now, it was a Wednesday. There's 2 Sabbaths this week. Think about that. The word says what it means and means what it says. And the festival of Ishtar involves eggs and rabbits. So put away the paganism and honor God Almighty and Christ that paid the price. Love y'all. And in the end, remember, God wins. Bye now.